A week ago I came out here to film the video, or my previous video, on the airfield, and after I had finished I decided to just take a ride around the perimeter fence of the airfield. And right here where I am now, there is a very small gap, or a very narrow gap, between this concrete block and the electric fence, which is just behind the camera right now. I will show you those distances in a minute. But the gap between the two is quite sloped towards the fence. I came here and I thought, I'm sure I can get through here. But I knew if I drove too close to the fence, the lowest part is right at the fence, and the car is going to lean over quite a lot, and there was a chance that I would touch the electric fence. So I stuck to this side. And what happened was the tire caught the concrete block. Now, as you can see, this is a huge thing. It weighs a ton and it's been here for years. It is anchored into the ground. There's no moving this thing. You could hit this thing with a truck and it probably wouldn't move. I was only doing, I don't know what speed, but I was in, I'm pretty sure I was in first gear, and I was going pretty slowly because this is a narrow gap. You've got to get through here pretty carefully. Anyway, the tire caught this corner and the car came to an absolute dead stop and bounced back and towards the fence. The bounce actually pushed me towards the fence, and it literally pushed the side of the car into the fence. When I came to a standstill, I was actually touching the fence. The mirror had been pushed in. I think it was the wires on the pole, because one of the poles is right here, and it pushed the mirror in, and there I was standing against the electric fence. So I reversed and I went around. I came around this way and I stopped on that side, and I wanted to just have a look, because when I rode out forward here, I noticed that my steering wheel had turned 180 degrees to ride straight. And I'm quite pedantic when it comes to the steering wheel position. I'd been playing with the steering wheel position for quite a while to get the steering nice and level when I'm driving straight. And I noticed straight away that the steering wheel was now upside down, completely upside down, almost perfectly 180 degrees. And so I had a quick look underneath the car. I didn't want to climb underneath it over here and get all dirty, but I had a look and I didn't see anything. So I went home. I don't live too far from here. I pulled it into the garage, jacked it up, climbed underneath, and I simply could not find anything wrong anywhere. I thought I'd perhaps bent a panhard bar or broken its mountings somehow. I know the 80 series is fond of cracking the chassis and the panhard mountings behind the steering box, the power steering box. There was absolutely none of that. It still looks as good as the day the car was built. Perfect condition still. The way I saw it, somehow either the whole differential housing had moved closer to the right hand side, but there was no evidence of it anywhere. And this puzzled me the whole week. For 2 or 3 nights, every night when I got home from work, I would hop underneath the car with my torch and everything else to see if I could see something new, and there was nothing. I took it to the guys during the week on the Landcruiser group that I'm on WhatsApp, and a lot of guys came with a lot of theories, and everything I'd already checked, and there was none of them. One guy said, you might have twisted your sector shaft out of your power steering pump. Now, not the pump, the power steering box. Now, the sector shaft is the output shaft of the power steering box that the pitman arm attaches to. It's got splines on it, and that operates your steering. I'd never heard of this problem before. I thought it's impossible. Although it was pretty odd bang. You know, when I hit this thing, it was a dead stop. It was a decent blow. I wasn't going fast. I could not believe that shaft would twist with that much or that little force. It was a good bang, but I mean, it wasn't an accident. I drove away, and the car tracked and drove perfectly after that, except the steering wheel was turned. But anyway, I went home, and last night actually, which was Friday night, it's Saturday this morning, and I went home last night, immediately jacked the car up, took the ball joint and the pitman arm off, and this is what I found. Obviously, I have twisted The sector shaft, you can hear there's a microlight coming in now. It's coming past here. As I said, I am at an airfield, so please excuse any noise there might be. Getting back to the car, I have obviously twisted that sector shaft. Now it's a 30mm shaft. I cannot believe that shaft could actually twist, but it did. And so what I did last night was I centered the steering box to get its center of motion, put the pitman arm back again, put everything back, centered my steering wheel, and now I'm in the market for another sector shaft. Now I believe that a power steering box is a hell of an expensive thing, and well, it has to be replaced. So I'm in the market now for either a good second-hand one or a new one. I'm going to have to sit down before I look at the prices. I'm sure I'm going to get a shock, but that is going to take a decent chunk that I was saving towards a new set of tires for those beautiful rims is going to go now towards fixing my or replacing the sector shaft in the car. That is about all I have for you today. As I said, I broke my vehicle, and I can't believe that such little force. It was, as I said, it was a decent blow. It was a dead stop at maybe 10 k's an hour or 15 k's an hour, I don't know, a dead stop. And it obviously jerked the wheel to the left hand side, pulling on the pitman arm and literally twisting that shaft. I couldn't believe it, but there it is. You've seen the photo. It's bent. So as soon as I get the new sector shaft, I will do a video on how I replace it. It'll be the third time I'm opening the box anyway. I've opened the box once before to replace all the seals, and about 6 months later it started to leak again, so I opened it up again, and it was the seal that seals around the sector shaft where it exits the box that was leaking, and I found a fairly deep scratch in the metal, and that was obviously what had been leaking. So I just polished that scratch out with some water paper, flatting paper, and replaced the seal, and that has been at least 2 years ago, and it hasn't leaked a drop of oil since then. So I will be opening that box for the third time, or replacing the box, depending on what comes up and at what prices. But that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked the content, please press the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget that bell icon to get notifications. I'm going to try and post more regular content. I want to try and grow this channel. I'm at 144 subscribers now, but that's not without trying too hard. I know how to do it, and I will get there. There's an aircraft going to be taking off behind me right now. So yeah, I will catch you in the next video. I look forward to bringing you some updates on the steering, but for now I'm going to have to take it very easy. It is my only vehicle. I can't take it off the road right now. I am very close to work. I could walk if I had to, but as I said, I only live 4 kilos from work, and it's in amongst the farms here on the little gravel roads, secondary roads. So I drive to work at 40 k's an hour. I have faith that it's not going to fall apart, but I would never trust it on a long road, and I would never trust it in any hard off-road conditions. So there we go. If anybody knows of somebody who's got a steering box that is either leaking like a sieve that needs an overhaul, or for some reason needs to be replaced, and the sector shaft is still fine, and for an 80 series that is, I believe a 105 is a better fit, and it is stronger, but I also believe that there's some mods that need to be made, and I'm not keen on doing that in case I ever hit any problems in remote areas at a later stage, and then, you know, I can't fit. It's a battle to find parts to fit, and then they need to be modified as well. So I'd rather preferably stick to standard parts or OEM parts, unless the 105 can fit in, and then at a later stage the OEM part for an 80 series can still be used. Then it's fine, then I can use either. But I don't want to go doing mods that are only specific to that installation. As I said, if I ever get any problems in the field in a remote area, I'm going to be stuck. So that's it for today. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.